Alright, welcome everybody to the second game of Monster of the Week, Silverblade on the St-Laurent. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. You can find out more at gauntlet-rpg.com. They got blog, podcast, zine. There's a new game Kickstarter called Hearts of Wooling that's on right now. So it's a super amazing place to find all types of RPG discussions and conversation and games like this one. And we lost someone. um. So while she's coming back, how about you guys introduce each of you and like quick elevator pitch about your character, and then we'll get on with the rest of the mystery. From left to right, Josh.
All right, so I am playing Zar Arath, or Zar for short. It's the summon playbook. Essentially, I think the idea of Hellboy as far as what kind of character it is. He's demonic, kind of got the whole motorcycle leathers and scars and carries some big guns and even has a giant hell sword. So that should be fun to play with. Also, the summoned is has something to do with the coming apocalypse, whether the summoned is the cause of it or the one to prevent it is, I guess, something we'd play to find out. So we'll see how that goes.
And I think right now the only sign of the apocalypse we have is that the waters are getting rougher and changing a little bit of colors, I think.
Yes. So that's it for now, but the more good luck I have, the worse things get for us.
Nice. Next up, Nadine.
Okay, I am sorry. I had troubles to unmute. So my name is Nadine, and I will be playing Alexis Lebel, the Spooky. So she looks pretty normal. She looks like the girl next door who enjoys like rock and roll, a little tomboy as well, but nothing eccentric. Although she does have a dark side. So she is addicted to sex and drugs. Also, there is a rumor going on about her, saying that she would be a member of the Salker Circus. What the Salker Circus is remains ambiguous. It's all rumors as well. But what the other characters might have heard is that this is a super private club that mixes hardcore BDSM with dark magic. But it can be worse. They can have heard worse or better. And yes, that's quite Alexis.
All right. Next up, Pearl.
Hello. My voice sounds weird today, and I don't know why. I think it might just be that I'm dehydrated, but I apologize for crackliness. I'm Pearl. I use she, her pronouns. And I am playing from the playbook The Exiled, a character named Lord Tom, who would be happy to introduce himself to everyone. Hello, friends. I'm Lord Tom. I've found myself here in your time period a bit unexpectedly recently, along with my nemesis and life's work, the questing beast, Little Bear, who I am sort of doomed to hunt, lest he hunt me first. But along the way, I joined up with these delightful companions. Lazarus was the one who helped me to learn to fit in your marvelous time period, which I think is going very well. You have many interesting things here, but I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. We're currently looking for my familiar, which is a spirit familiar who takes the form of an owl. His name is Wall. If you've seen him, I would really appreciate it if you would let me know. Nobody else seems quite as invested in finding him as I am, but we have been together. I mean, technically, if you look at the years, for over 300 years now. But generally, I'm here to do the good work of ridding the kingdom of monsters and other nefarious presences. And this group seems just the sort of group to do such a thing. I'm hoping that my knowledge from all of my studies of the arcane and such back in my time will come in handy as we continue. And if not, my sword, my shield, my fighting training, and just a little bit of sorcery might come in handy. So it's wonderful to meet you all, enchanté, and let the adventures begin.
All right, and last but not least, Robbie.
I'm Robbie, and I am playing somebody named Lazarus Mathers. He is using, or I am using, the professional playbook. As you may have discovered hearing the other introductions, this team that we have put together is made up of individuals who are certainly adept in various ways, but I think it's also fair to say that they're also somewhat eccentric in other ways. And it's clear that this team needs a kind of anchor. It needs a kind of voice of reason. And I see myself at least as that person. I come from a law enforcement background, spent many years on law enforcement, but I became aware of the existence of monsters, and got attracted to Silver Blade because they were an outfit that was in need of somebody like me and of my particular talents. And law enforcement agencies, whenever they would encounter evidence of the supernatural or of monsters, would tend to shrug it off or explain it away in some way. But the Silver Blade took the monsters seriously. They needed somebody with my professional type of background. So that is what has brought me to the Silver Blade. You will probably have opportunity to note my van, which we are using. It's a white van, although I have a extensive collection of various magnetic decals that we can use to make this van fit in hopefully whatever circumstance we need it to fit in for. And yeah, I think that gives a pretty good background of what I bring to the table for this mission.
Yeah, and I think right now the van is disguised as a CBC news van.
Yes.
All right. So, I guess I never introduced myself. Probably mine was Simon, using he, him pronoun. And, well, I'm the keeper, so I'm every other character in that world. That means I am... No. All right. So, last time we did we did a brief moment of gameplay. Character, the hunters arrived in the little town of Persay, a touristic town famous for its limestone formation that has a hole in it, like a pierced rock, which is the name of the rock in English. One of the camping is now the a media circus and police investigation because of a young man that was found gutted and deboned and filleted. Hunter have tried to gather some information. In the meanwhile, I think the wall, the spirit animal of Sir Tom, wandered around and seems to lost contact with his owner. And Alexis made some kind of psychic connection with the monster that is in town, and foresaw some kind of street corner where she could encounter him, and just in your everyone and walk that way. So I guess we now have two groups: Lord Tom going after his familiar, and Alexis going after the monster in town. So I want to know first, Xar and Mr. Mathers, what are you going to do?
If I remember correctly, Alexis had found a group of other young kids that taking drugs and whatnot, and had joined them, and I had kind of deduced that like teenagers was the mill of choice for whatever this monster is, and so I was kind of following them, seeing if the monster comes after them.
All right. And Lazarus?
So would I be in a position is Lazarus in a position to see that Czar is with Alexis then? And
sorry, can you repeat that?
Is Lazarus able to see that Czar is with Alexis?
Alexis is not following the same kids as Czar, so no, your three companions are going into three different directions.
Lazarus puts his hand to his head, and is shaking his head like, what is this group doing? Tom is going off into the woods, correct? I mean that yes. Tom has okay. I think what Lazarus will do is, shaking his head, he runs off to Tom and says, "Tom, what are you doing? You're leaving the crime scene. What is so important that you need to go off into the woods? They do have restrooms here. If you need a restroom, you don't need to go back to your 17th century ways. If that is what the issue is."
You were talking to me, right?
Yes.
For some reason, I got the impression you were talking to Czar. Sorry, I had a moment of like weirdness there. No, I'm not going to use the restroom. You've taught me enough about your modern plumbing. I do admit it is convenient. I'm going to find wool. None of you seem interested whatsoever in helping. I tried to get Czar to pay attention, thinking maybe he could use some sort of monstrous knowledge, and he didn't want to. And I'm not going to leave a fallen companion by the wayside just because none of you care about him. He's very useful on missions, you know. He's saved me from the questing beast more than once by catching sight of him before he could reach me to attack. So I'm going to go into the woods, and I mean, for all we know, whatever has attacked Wool is related to, or even could be the same thing as what's attacking these poor humans. So,
did you get a bead on where Wool would have fallen? I mean, are you just kind of randomly setting out, or do you have a kind of sense of where he is?
I'm not sure where he is. We've never been disconnected like this before. I'm not sure what's going on. But I imagine the closer I get to him, the more I'll be able to sense his presence. So my hope is that as I venture into the woods, I'll feel pulled towards wherever he has blacked out. This is unprecedented, so I'm just trying to figure out what to do.
So you have no idea what caused this to happen to him?
No, I think it's very alarming. I think everyone should take it more seriously. He's a spirit familiar. I mean, it's not very easy to attack a spirit familiar. Most people, like, can't even, you try to touch him and your hand goes through him. So for something to be able to attack him in such a way, that creature must be dangerous. And I think you're all ignoring it at your peril, really.
Well, I will do what I can to help you, but I think we need to do this quickly because our other two companions are going off in their own separate directions.
Yes, well, from what I saw of it, it didn't look like it was anything we particularly needed to attend to. It looked like they were just looking to have a good time. Now, in my day, when you're in the middle of a quest, or any sort of investigation, monster hunting, the sorts of things that we do, you don't stop to engage in recreation, shall we say. But clearly it's different in this time period, and I don't mean to criticize our companions, but I also have no desire to join them when there are larger stakes being unaddressed.
Well, Lord Tom, I will do what I can, but I think tell you what, we will do a quick search, see what we can find. If we come up empty, though, I think we're going to need to try to let your familiar come to his senses himself. But let's do a quick search at least to see if we can locate him.
Lovely. I'm grateful for your help. I will not be leaving him behind, regardless of what anyone's instructions are. But I do appreciate that you will help me for the short term.
All right. So how do you go about and how do you try to locate Wall?
Well, we set off into the forest, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine we could probably roll something. I have a trust your gut weird move that I could use. That seems
Definitely.
like worth trying.
Yeah, and I think I would try to do the help out move if I could. I mean, I would be, Lazarus would be asking, okay, what should I be looking for? What does a fallen familiar look like? Providing an extra set of eyes and some senses to try to locate this creature.
I don't know how you guys usually do it, but the kind of help move thing, I usually allow people to roll it after the person has succeeded. So you position yourself to be able to help Lord Tom, but we'll only roll if we actually need to.
Okay, I will roll and then we will know.
Mm-hmm.
What? Thank you. Okay. Wait. Dear roll for your party. Please stop being weird. What? Are things jumping around on the screen weirdly for you all too? And roll for your party. I think I've got it now. Open. Okay. So I'm going to roll plus weird, and my weird stat is 2, correct?
Exactly.
All right. Trusting my gut. 6. Unless I do get help, which will bump me up into the 7 to 9 roll, presumably.
Okay.
Why do I always roll so badly?
So should I go on and roll?
I think so.
Okay.
I would appreciate it.
So I will roll.
I do not remember the stat for the
help out. Is
it's cool
plus cool, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I think let me just make sure. I think I am pretty cool. Yeah, I have a plus 2 to cool, so hopefully that will come through for us.
Perfect.
I rolled a 7, so that will give us a plus 1. So
yes,
the help grants you a plus 1, but I also expose myself to trouble or danger.
Yes. Okay. So trusting your gut, and your connection to wool, you wander into the forest, and at some point you see something shimmering in the distance, and your gut really tells you that this is very important. So as you approach, I think you only get a clear understanding of what it is until when you arrive quite near it. But as you approach, your connection to wall begins to come back. And when you arrive at the shimmering, what is shimmering is some kind of spider web thing, but there's something really eerie about it. And Wall is trapped in that spider web.
That is terrible. Poor
Mhm.
Wool. And I get +1 forward, right?
Plus one forward on acting.
In acting on this. All right. So then, in that case, I assume I don't see the spider, just the web.
Right now, you see no spider. Well, maybe a totally normal, mundane little spider on the tree trunk, but
But not
nothing
a
that could
spider
have
that would
spawned
create
a special web.
Okay, so I would like to read a bad situation. I
Sure.
think,
Roll plus sharp.
because what on earth is going on here?
Mhm.
So I got a 4,
Nice.
which puts me actually at 5 experience, so I can
Oh, you get an
level
advance.
something up
Cool.
because I've been rolling so badly this entire game that 2 scenes in, I
Okay,
have already maxed experience.
second hour of actual gameplay and already an advance. Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I guess even with help, we can't get anything useful out of that. So
Yeah. Now, does Lazarus see this as well as he's there when we come across
Yes.
this?
You when you see, I assume that well, Lord Tom, how does other people see Wall? As a normal hall or something else? Or simply don't see them at all?
my assumption is that generally people see Wool, but also that Wool takes the form of an owl. And if he's unconscious, I don't know if he can keep up his like corporeal form. But if nothing else, I could easily say to Lazarus, like, he's stuck in the spider web. I can feel his presence. I don't know if you can see him or not.
I think he can see, if only faintly,
Okay.
like some vague form of a bird trapped in the center of that quite weird spider web, shimmering, eerie looking. And as you look around, you do see the spider just in time for it to jump, actually to drop on you.
On me?
On you.
Oh, well, I'd better do something then.
Mm-hmm. The spider is quite among this. It's maybe as big as a cat, plus the legs, but the body is weirdly shaped. It's more like a sphere, more like a ball, and there are multiple eyes on it.
Wow, in line with it being a spider. All right, then. I am going to, not that rolling ever helps me. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Should I kick some ass? Should I act under pressure? Both of those seem prudent.
I think what Lazarus is going to try to do is to, he's going to take his big knife out, but he's going to at least initially try to grab that spider and throw it off.
That would be very helpful, friend.
So you just want to throw it off, and you don't necessarily want to hurt it or kill it.
Well, at least my first. I think if I start to stab it while it's on Lord Tom, that might, that could potentially.
Maybe we hold off.
So at least my initial thought is, okay, I need to probably kind of throw it off, and if it's gonna come after us, then it would be a little bit safer at that point to, you know.
Okay, so you are trying to kick some ass. If you roll 10 plus, there's an option you can take to have it to force it where it is advantageous for you. So that could be what you're trying to do, or we can act under pressure and just remove it from force it where you want it to be, and maybe deal some damage like on a 10 plus.
Yeah, I think if I had a choice, I would say more of an act under pressure, sure. and I'm less interested, at least initially, in causing it harm, and more just interested in getting it detached from Lord Tom.
Perfect. Let's roll plus go.
All right. So I get I rolled an 8 and I have +2, so that would give me a 10.
Nice.
Cool. Just think about how it looks like. I'm going to jump out to the other player and come back to you. Czar, you are following a bunch of teenagers.
Trying to probably stay far enough back and not look like some creep following them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be something hard to do. Yeah, let's act on pressure.
Okay. And what is that?
It's plus cool.
Plus cool. Okay.
Generate defy danger. Do something dangerous.
7.
7. All right. Okay, you follow them. The only issue here is that they are not fast moving. They go a little bit out their way, stop to talk and smoke, and you feel like it's going to take a lot of time here. But you're fairly certain that that you are not arousing suspicions. Yeah, I think you find some place like remote enough that nobody's you are not in their range of vision, but you can still see them.
Probably while they're stopped, just pull out my own cigar and sit there.
All right, so you're following them to be able to catch a monster in the act. While it does take some time, like I said, they are not fast moving, but at some point you can see you can see like something weird moving around them. some kind like something on the ground is moving, rustling the herb, the grass, but you cannot clearly see what it is.
Let me think for a moment. I'm trying to see what I might be able to do here. Yeah, I think I want to try and trust my gut on figuring out, should I do something, should I just wait here and keep watching, or if I should try and, I don't know, break the ground and pull that thing out, or what?
All right, sure. Give me a weird roll. And that means adding your weird stat to the roll, not rolling in some kind of weird way.
Oh, man, I was going to stand upside down, and drink some water. So that's a 6.
Cool. You should definitely, those kids are in danger. You should definitely go ahead and save them.
Sorry, say that again?
Yeah, those kids are in danger. You should definitely go ahead and save them.
Yeah, so let's see. I guess I'll get up, walk to where they are, or probably quickly move to where they are, and then basically just like yell at them to get the hell out of there, and then focus on whatever's moving in the ground.
All right.
Probably,
yeah.
Might even show off that probably, I'm freakish.
Yes, of course. When they see this big person with a weird face screaming at them that to go away, they definitely do so. There's even like a few that drops their phone on the ground and struggle to get them back and trip on the way over. They are terrified. They will not talk to anybody about this. That's for sure. However, the thing that was scuttling around the grass now seems to be interesting you. You still cannot see it clearly. It seems to be really like under the grass, but it's coming at you. What do you do?
I will pull out that magnum and I'll wait till the moment it breaches the ground before I start shooting.
All right. Go ahead and kick some ass.
All right.
Plus tough.
That's tough. That's actually my good stat.
Yes.
9.
All right. 999. Well, too much in. All right, on a 7+, you guys trade damage.
Okay.
So, how much damage does your gun do, and what are its other attacks?
It is 3 harm, close, loud, and reload.
Loud, cool.
So I imagine, since it's a magnum, I imagine it's like a 6-shooter revolver. Big one, too, being that it's a magnum.
All right.
Probably going to draw all the cops to me, you know.
No, definitely not. And the cops will not pass the scared kid saying there's a weird person in the park. No, never. Okay. Do you say you said 2 harm?
Three.
3 arms. 3 arms. Okay. 3 harm of the scuttling thing. So as you shoot, just after you shoot the thing, like when you hear a cry of pain, like something a streak, like something like that, and this kind of big weird centipede with its its body is very colorful, like like a scarab bag that change color as you change perspective.
So at least with my science knowledge, that tells me it's probably poisonous.
And
bright color means
it's also pretty big, like snake
yeah.
size big, and it jumps at you and get a bite. It's 2 harm.
So I have 2 armor.
Oh, so it doesn't make a dent. All right, it does you 0 harm, but it hurts. It still hurts like hell.
Since the move is called "Should I Feel That?" I'm just like, well, that's what gives me the 2 armor.
Okay, so the pain will be like when you bite that, you like don't care at first, but then it starts to burn, like you feel like burning into your leg.
Nice.
And what do you do?
So I assume it's got an obvious head.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and grab it basically right behind the head so that I can hold it without it being able to bite me.
All right.
Probably an act under pressure.
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to see if there was a way to make you roll your tough. Let's go with that.
I don't need to roll my tough because even without the...
No, I mean, like it makes sense to you.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Let's go with
cool. I'm just saying that without it, I still got a 11. That includes the 1 for cools.
Okay. All right. Nope. Problem. So you take it by hand. It tries to snap at you, but you have it like in good position, and it seems to hiss a little, and you hear like, "Let go of me." Well, I'm going to switch back. I want to go to Alexis. Let's count.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
I was looking for the word. All right. Alexis, after having some kind of connection with the monster, you wander in town without saying a word to anybody.
Yeah.
So what are you doing exactly?
Well, you told me last time that I felt that there was something just at the next corner, like there's this kind of stop sign then. So I go there.
All right. I think you easily find the street corner that you had in your vision. It's not like it's a big town. It's quite easy to find the spot. However, there's nothing there.
Okay, so I will try and investigate a mystery.
Investigate a mystery. Roll plus sharp.
Yes. 8.
8, 8, 8, 8. You've got one question.
Where is it now?
Where is it now? All right. You see on that corner some kind of now my English vocabulary is failing me. Some kind of mark, like phlegms or something gooey that dried up on the spot. Quite a big, like it was a big puddle, but now it's all dried up, and you can see that on the wall there's just a tiny line of same stuff, dried also, that goes on the wall and up on the roof.
Okay, so I try to take some distance to try and see the roof.
You don't actually see anything on the roof.
Huh. All right. I will try to go back. If I turn around, like, do I see the others?
No, you're all alone. Nobody followed you.
You bunch of losers. All right, so we'll try to go and look for Lazarus to tell him about the kind of gluey thing.
All right. So you're not acting immediately on it. Gather the group to deal with it. All right, then let's go back in the forest with a weird spidery eye thing. So you were able to you rolled a 10. So yeah, describe what does it look like?
Yeah, so I think I get a good grip on it and remove it from Lord Tom, and in a kind of single elegant motion just kind of launch it away from Tom and also away from the spider web where we think that the familiar is. And I'm going to watch where the spider goes and keep my eye on it. And then I say, Lord Tom, now is your chance. Retrieve your familiar and let's get back to the others.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your help, my friend. So I would like to go up to the web and attempt to dislodge Wool.
Right. Just as you are doing that, the spider like flip on itself to go back on their legs. Does some kind of weird noise, like some in that being, and you hear the words, "Stupid mortal, don't mess with my food," and as she begins to charge on Lazarus. So Tom, you're going to the web. I don't think there's I don't think you have trouble removing Wool from there. It's just going to take time.
Well, I'll have to leave him there for a moment if someone's attacking Lazarus.
Oh, okay.
So, blast it all. All right. Hang in there, Wool. I'll be back for you.
And I think Lazarus will say, I can fend off the spider. You get Wool.
Are you sure, friend?
Oh, this is small pickings for me. Look how puny it is.
All right. Well, call out if you need me. I'm here. So in that case, I will go and attempt to dislodge Wool. If there's anything I need to roll to do that, let me know. Otherwise, I will just get to work.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think any roll are necessary. Just, like I said, just time. Unless you want to go really fast, you might have to act under pressure.
I only want to do that if, like, there's no danger to Wool, and given my rolling, I guess I could spend luck to save him if I need to. So sure, I'll act under pressure. Let's see. And that's plus cool.
Plus cool,
one
yes.
for me. So I got a 9, including cool.
All right. What are you using to dislodge Wool from the spider web?
With my hands, I want to be careful. He's delicate, you know.
Okay. I think as you do this, the some of the web will stick on your hands, and even as you remove it, you still have that shimmering, eerie thing from the spider web that sticks to your hands.
Okay. Is Wool waking up?
Yes, as soon as he is out of the web, your connection goes back to full strength, and Wool is all well.
Okay.
Seems like the spider web was the thing blocking the connection between you two.
So I'm going to ask Wool, presumably just in my mind, because we seem to communicate mainly telepathically. Like, my dear old friend, what happened? Can you show me what led to this disaster?
You clearly see the. I think you see like images of the forest, and just like a few eyes opening the shadow and a sticky spider web out and catching Wool, and that's when the connection terminated.
Okay, so it sounds like the spider didn't take time to build the web over time and hope something stumbled into it. It can like make one very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to call out to Lazarus then.
Yes, that has a spider charging at him.
Yeah. Lazarus, beware. The web that this spider makes can be created in an instant. He might shoot it at you. I'm not quite sure, but Wool has communicated that it's not a normal, built over time spider web. I fear there may be greater danger than we have anticipated.
Okay, and Lazarus, seeing the spider and he hears that voice from the spider. I think at that point he will, pull out his .38 revolver, and so I think he has his .38 revolver now. He kind of switches his knife to his other hand and has the .38 revolver out. While he's able to use the revolver, he'll kind of try to use that against the spider. If it gets into really close quarters, though, he'll have his knife at the ready as well. But at least initially, he's going to try to use that revolver.
All right, so I think now it's really a kick some ass. Rope is tough.
Okay. Okay. So I rolled, let me see I rolled a 7. Oh, no. And I'm not particularly tough. So my 7 goes down to a 6.
I can assist if you don't want to use luck. I would really rather you not get eaten by a spider. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can use luck.
Yeah, the situation with luck is I use it.
So everybody can use luck to either turn their whatever rolls into a 12, or you can also reduce the harm that you were just dealt to 0. However, everybody has some kind of move where when you use luck, something happens For someone's their dark desire getting more intense, and other people they are bringing about the apocalypse by doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'll go on and do that. I'll go on and use my luck here to make that a 12, and I'll check that off.
All right. So on a 10 plus, you get to choose one of the options on Kick Some Ass. Do you have the sheet in front of you? Do you want me to read them?
I've got it here. Let me see. So, I'll go with you inflict terrible harm. So it was a particularly well aimed shot, and maybe you described that bulbous body, but then it also has a head area. So I kind of clearly got a bead on the head to do another +1. So that would make it. I get normally 2 harm from the revolver, and so that would make it that would make it 3.
Exactly. 3 arms on this fiery thing. It does. It doesn't flinch after the shot, and still won't get to you. It jumps on you, inflicting and jumps on you and bite, inflicting 2 harms.
Okay. And does it seem like the shot really didn't do any? Had little effect on it?
Oh no, there's clearly a gaping wound
Okay.
in it, but it didn't flinch.
Okay.
It didn't flinch?
Yeah.
His terrible harm
Mm-hmm.
didn't cause it to flinch?
Didn't cause it to flinch.
Well, that seems like a weird interpretation of that.
Of terrible harm, I know.
All right. I'm going to good heavens. So my character, let me just make sure I understand. I picked as my weird move the hunches or something like that. Trust my gut. But like he does have some experience in sorcery just based on his background.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do some sort of magic, or do I have to have the do magic skill?
If you don't, if you replace the use magic, you can still do magic using the big magic.
Big magic.
The big magic move. I'm trying to play for a word here. So that means it's more complicated for you to do so.
Yeah, it looks like the requirements for big magic almost all involve more time than I have at this moment, given Lazarus's situation. All right, fine. I'm going to attempt to kick some ass. Wait, no, because that didn't work just now. I'm going to read a bad situation to try to figure out how to kill this thing.
All right, roll plus sharp.
All right. One of these rolls has to be successful eventually.
One of them.
All right, I got an 8 plus 1 is a 9, which is weird because it showed up initially as a higher number and then it like re-rolled itself down to a 3 the second die because that's what's happening. So I'm going to ask sorry, I'm looking at the questions. What's the best way to protect Lazarus?
Okay. While it didn't flinch from the pain, it's still there. The wound, it's still there. So hitting it would still, in the long run, incapacitate it. So it's not, you're not doing, like the shot didn't do nothing. It just didn't feel the pain, seems like it. So hitting it or finding a way to stop it, like it's talking, so it can be reasoned with. I think those are the best option to.
The best option
is
to reason with it.
Reason or attack it.
How close is it to Lazarus at this point?
On top of him.
On top of him. Okay, so I don't think I should attack it because I have a sword. And that just seems like a great way to accidentally slice both of them in half. So, ho there, beast!
Like, it raises its eyes to you and like squint.
Ooh, I have a playbook move. Can I run that?
Oh, yes, of course.
I have learned, which is when I investigate a mystery, I can ask questions, including things about the creature. And those would be helpful for this upcoming conversation, I am guessing.
All right. So you roll plus sharp for investigating mystery.
And I got a 12.
Oh, nice.
Finally. So
you've got, I think, 2 questions on investigating mystery.
Yes. And I guess what can hurt it was kind of covered by how to defend Lazarus, so I'm not going to ask that one. Unless there was something you did not reveal in that role.
Yeah, it might still be a good question to ask.
Okay, so I'm going to ask as my 2 questions, right? Because I got to... what can hurt it? And then help me decide here, Lazarus. Should I ask what defenses are effective against it, or what do I know about this that has otherwise been forgotten? Those are my 2 of my special character questions.
I kind of like the last one.
All right. So, yeah, I'd like to ask what can hurt it and what I know about it that has otherwise been forgotten.
All right.
From my studies back in the early 1700s.
As when you call it out, it's squinted at you, and that that triggered like a non-memory, but you remember now a detail about a court of underground fairies or something like that were insect-like. And you might have seen in one book like these kind of eyes squinting at a person in the illustration. So so you are thinking that they might be related to fairies. That
the spider.
The spider, yes.
The fairy spider.
And fairies can be hurt by cold iron.
I don't have iron, I have silver anyway. But, okay. Is that then a single answer to both of my questions, or is there something else I can know about it that's been forgotten?
These fairies usually enter pact with mortals. They, if they are kept fed, they mind their own business, which doesn't seem to be the case here.
All right, I'm just going to proceed with my question since my one successful roll that I've ever made seems to have given me no useful information in this current situation. Nothing that I can act on. I mean, it might be useful in the long run. But all right, so ho there, monster, and it looks up right?
Mm-hmm.
I must respectfully ask that you remove yourself from my companion, and perhaps we can discuss what's going on here.
It looks at you, and I think it starts walking towards you. So it leaves Lazarus. Well, it walks over Lazarus.
Excellent.
I mean, I think Lazarus, if he sees an opportunity, he'll try to take another shot at it.
Oh, all right. I think that's the first thing that's going to happen. Yeah. Go ahead and roll plus tough.
Okay. Hopefully, don't have to expend more.
More luck.
This. Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. It may be. I rolled a 5, so that's a 4.
All right. You won't turn it. I guess your knife would be a better fit right now since you're so close to it.
Mm-hmm.
You try to catch it by surprise. However, there are eyes everywhere on the thing.
Yes.
So it quickly jump on the side, and it hisses, and it's running away. It starts to run away, actually. Are any of you going to do anything to stop it?
I am not. I have like sticky web hands and like a recently freed wall. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Lazarus, and I think we should regroup.
Yeah, and I think Lazarus is really not interested in continuing to tangle with this. Although he will say something like, "Let that be a lesson to you, and don't come back here again." Lord Tom, let us quickly go back the other direction and try to find our companions.
I do think you're correct. That's a good idea. Although I will say that it was capable of communication, and we might have learned something there, and perhaps a little bit less force against seemingly slightly invulnerable monsters that seem willing to negotiate in the future could yield us some information. But for now, yes, let's return to our companions and let them know what we found out. I'm sure this is tied to the overall problem. So we're going to head out of the woods?
Yes. Yeah. And Lazarus will say, I've never seen such a type of creature before. Do you have any sense of what that was?
Unfortunately, yes. My memory of it is fuzzy, but I believe I've read about them, or I did back in my time, and I remember there being a similar creature that was somehow related to fairies, of all things, and that they can be, you can make deals with them, and sometimes they can be placated if you can keep them fed. But this one did not seem... I don't know. I'm not sure what was up with this fellow. I was going to ask, but you very bravely scared him off, so
And how is Wool? Is Wool okay?
Wool seems fine. Our mental connection has returned. He was able to communicate to me about his experience, and I'm not sensing any pain. I think he's actually probably in better shape than I am, since he's a spirit, and the web is unlikely to stick to him long term, whereas I really would like to get this glowing spider web off my hands if we can figure that out. It's not a good look.
Yeah, and I think Lazarus will say yes. I probably have something in the van that might be of some use in getting that gooey stuff off.
That would be excellent if so. I don't know what the effects might be, but I have concerns.
Right, let's cut this in here and go see what our demon friend is.
Sally North.
Yeah. Czar, you've got this centipede thing in your hand, and it's saying things to you.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much I just see it as a monster, and even though it's trying to talk to me, actually, let me look at something real quick. Okay. I think I'm just going to, since I'm holding it there, put my magnum straight to its head and try and finish it off that way.
All right, great. I don't think I need you to roll for this. It does 3 damage, right?
Yeah.
All right, you blow its head off. As you do this, the thing begins to shimmer and will like disperse. It's like turning into a glimmering, shimmering dust, and quickly disperse into the wing.
Interesting. Like, does the dust kind of stay there, or does it disappear?
It disappeared. It's like it's vanishing. It's nothing like physical or corporeal.
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah, because if it was an actual dust, I would have like picked it up. But no. Yeah, I will. At that point, I will put my gun back in its holster and try to get the hell out of there before cops or someone else shows up.
Yeah, about that. Well, first
two loud gunshots,
Yeah, two gunshots. I remember that. Remember, this is Canada. There are not a lot of gunshots.
That's true.
Actually, I think most of your weapons are illegal to carry.
I've got a shotgun, a Magnum, I think I just like summon the hell sword when I need it, but
First thing, where is your intention to go? Where do you intend to go?
Probably like the closest person in our group to me is probably Alexis, and I probably at least got a sense of what direction she was going in whenever she's separated from the group of teenagers. Yeah. So I'll kind of head in that general direction.
All right, she was going more into downtown, if there can be said to be a downtown to that small place. Yeah. You're definitely going to be acting under pressure, because one of the first things you do when you reach the road that's nearby is see a police car. Plus cool.
That is a whole 5. Yeah, I'll just take it for now.
The luck?
No, I was saying...
Escape the police, swarm of locusts coming. No?
Yeah, I'm like, do I take the luck or do I take the cops on?
Because right now, if you let that 5 sit, sirens will pop, and the police will mostly at first try to question you, but they clearly see you are the guy they are searching for.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure, at least I hope that the Silverblade has some kind of connection with the police. If they arrest a monster, as I would probably be considered, I would at least hope that Lazarus can help me out of that. So I'll take my chances.
All right. Okay, and you are letting yourself get arrested?
Yep.
All right. So, the police car sees you, the sirens pops, and the two policemen exit the vehicle, said, Sir, we need to, and they see you, quickly get their guns to their gun, and ask you to put your hands on your head and kneel on the ground.
I'll do as they say, and I'll still kind of since I've got the hat on, whatnot, keeping my face as hidden as possible so they don't freak out.
All right. I think I'm going to ask you another act under pressure here.
Okay. Well, that's better. That's a 12.
All right. I can interpret that as you are doing everything they ask. You do not want you tell them like where your weapons are in your person, and so everything goes smoothly.
Okay.
You are more simply you are disarmed and handcuffed, and like they are yeah, there's no brutality, there's no roughing, there's no everything goes a-okay.
Okay.
And you get a ride to the police station.
Woo!
All right.
Ever.
Canadian police station, first time. Cool. Let's go back to Alexis. I think as she comes back to the camping, where she can see Lazarus and Tom at the van, trying like looking through stuff to remove the spider webs.
So you mean they are in the van?
Well, right now I picture them like the back doors are wide open and they are ruffling through stuff.
All right. Well, last time I took pills with the teenagers, so I think I am still high, and I go straight to Lazarus, and Lazarus, as a professional and former like something, he can tell that I'm high. I have like really dilated pupils, and I'm like a little shaky and like a little shivering. And then I grab you and I say with a lot of excitement, actually, not fear, but excitement, like, oh, I just found this gluey thing on the wall right there. Just come with me. And I try to kind of drag you away. Come too, Uncle, you'll see, it's pretty cool.
Alexis, Lazarus puts his two hands on your shoulders to hold you still a little bit and gives you a little shake, saying, you need to get control of yourself. And you need to also remember not to go wandering off from the team. Everybody was going different directions, and it doesn't look good. And Lazarus also points to the bite mark. And does the bite from the spider, does it seem like a normal wound, or am I experiencing any added effect from from that wound.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do a harm move. I guess you do in the bite mark. You do have that shimmering, glistening thing that wasn't the same as the spider web. So it's just cosmetic. Well,
Okay.
at least you think.
Okay, because I think the other thing that I would do while we'd be rummaging around. We've been rummaging around the van to find something to get the gooey stuff off of Tom's hands. I also think I would get out my first aid kit and do my medic move to see if I could kind of heal myself a little bit from that.
That seems fine. Roll plus cool.
Okay, so hopefully this one goes a little better than the last one did. Let's see. That's 12.
Oh, right. Okay. So I think you healed 2 harms, which is in the entirety of the wound. So you patch yourself up. Maybe there are some stitching implements in there.
I would have I would have clearly the signs that I had patched myself up, and I would to Alexis say, Alexis, we got attacked by some type of strange creature out in the woods. What you're saying sounds kind of interesting to me, but we need to find out. Do you know what happened to our other companion? Did he go wandering off with you?
Well, I thought he was following me, but then I just ended up like alone in the corner, and they were like this bluey thing, and then I just stare at the stitches that you just did, and I just want to see if the color is still there, like this kind of shimmering.
I think it is a little. It's see through the bandage.
All right, so just to be sure.
You know it's there because you saw it before it was patched.
Okay. So as I speak, I just like stop talking and I focus on your arm and just like stare at your arm. And then I get like really flirty and I just go like, and Alexis is really touchy as well. So I just go like, oh, what happened to your arm? And while I say that, I just like pass my hand like on your not waist but a little higher, and like, oh, let me clear that for you, will you? And then I wink at you, and I would like to use magic to neutralize a poison.
All right, so does that mean that your magic's flirt based?
Oh no, that's just Alexis. That's weird. But does it have to be based on something? It was not specified.
Well, I think it would be cool to in that group, in these hunters, you are the only one who actually can use magic.
All right.
I just want to keep it coherent into like it's the first use of magic in one of the games. So I want to know like how are you magicking things?
Okay, I haven't thought about that, to be fairly honest. But it could be like, being really by touching it. Like, could that be a thing, or is it too like vague?
So the moments like touching your targets like an empathic way to synchronize your energies and act on them to to neutralize the poison, something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense, I think.
All right. So probably in the same way that Lazarus feel, roll plus weird.
I'm the spooky, remember?
Yeah. Keep on being spooky.
And I will, because I just rolled 13.
13, cool. So the effect goes out and there's no glitch. So as she does so, the color seems to evaporate.
All right, and then I just just to make it even more awkward, I just go at your ears and at your ear and whisper like, "Now I fixed your arm. Can you check that gluey thing for me?"
Lazarus looks at Alexis and is like, Alexis, I appreciate what you have done for this strange substance on my arm, but I think you need to get your focus back.
But my focus is there. There was some gluey thing, and pardon me.
Tell me about that. Did it look like what I had on my arm?
Does it smell?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No, it was more some kind of dark green thing and really sticky. Yours is too slimy. Slimy, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
It was going up on the wall, so I guess the monster might still be there.
And at this point, Lazarus goes and calls out to Tom and says, "Lord Tom, are you hearing what Alexis is saying about some residue of some monster climbing up a wall? And are you getting that gooey stuff off your hands? How is that coming?"
Am I getting the gluey stuff off my hands? You're the one who provided whatever the implement would be for me to do that. Has it worked?
Your hands are no longer sticky, but they are still colored.
Weird. Well, I've gotten off the stickiness. It's a step in the right direction. They're still odd looking, but I've had worse ailments, I suppose. I am hearing what's being said. Hard to parse out a bit, given that it sounds a lot like our monster, and yet Alexis is saying it's a different looking stickiness. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, it's they're kind of and remember she's high. They're kind of too kind of sticky, kind of gluey. There's the gluey slippery, not sleepy, but slippery. And there's the gummy, sticky. You see, so there's slippery, and there is sticky.
Well, I think perhaps, Lazarus, we should be investigating this a bit ourselves, just to clarify things, don't you?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And we need to find out what has happened to our companion Czar. Anybody seen him?
As you say that, you hear you're someone approaching and calling out, "Hey guys!" And it's the journalist James Gallagher. I see that you've been working hard.
What ho, friend? Have you learned something that we could use to aid in our quest?
Well, I thought you did. The police has arrested the suspect.
They've arrested
for murder.
someone.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
I don't know, but I have heard that it was a strange looking fellow. We might have to do something because it might be a monster that they arrested.
Oh dear.
Alexis burst in laughter. And wait, I think would that be a good moment to use magic to observe another place and see if at the police station it is Xar?
Yeah, sure, you can do this. How? So we're established now. Your magic needs contact and contact in an empathic way. What are you touching to?
Can I touch a police car?
Definitely.
All right. So as I keep laughing, I will just like touch a car, like lean on a car to make it like a little, like not obvious that I'm, to make it less creepy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Roll plus weird.
And that makes 12. Wait, no, 11.
Still a 10 plus. So you observe another place, and there is no glitch. Using magic goes very well. Yeah. Yeah, you are laughing for the right thing. As you can see, in the cell, Xar sits on the bench alone behind bars.
All right.
And on that, we're going to cut and take a short break. How about at? Do you want a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break?
I don't mind.
Let's do a 7.5 break. Okay. All
I would
right.
actually be willing for 7.5. 7.5.
All right. So let's come back at 22.
All right. Okay.
en attendant que les autres arrivent, je veux dire, le pacing, le timing, là, je pense que j'ai de la misère avec ça. Ça passe beaucoup trop vite. Il reste déjà juste 1 heure. Oui, je sais.
Mais non, mais je pense que c'est quand même... ça vaut la peine au sens où, genre, c'est qu'il y a des choses qui se passent aussi, tu sais.
Oui,
Fait qu'au
aussi.
pire, t'as juste à rabouter les histoires entre elles, puis ça va marcher. C'est ce que je pense.
Ouais.
Welcome back.
Ouais. Yeah. Just wait on Pearl and we'll be good to go.
Meanwhile, as I am curious for those things, Josh, where are you? Like, in which city?
I am in Lubbock, Texas. So
Oh,
I'm in the panhandle of Texas, as they call it.
okay. Great.
So it's nice and hot here.
That's great. I was just reading, actually, today. It's irrelevant fun fact, but actually, chili con carne is not from Mexico, but from Texas originally.
And what is it?
Chili con carne? Like chili? Like chili?
Oh, chili con carne.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess that would fit into Tex-Mex stuff. So
Yeah, I guess.
we've got a lot of Tex-Mex. Yeah. My one of my brothers went up to school in Massachusetts, and like the biggest thing he missed was Mexican food, and it's astonishing what passes for Mexican food up in that's pretty much as far north as you can get in the U.S. almost, and it was kind of sad. What'd you say, Pearl?
I can confirm this as someone from the Southwest who then lived elsewhere. Like, it's just hopeless.
Oh, we went to one place.
I do feel attacked. I feel attacked right now because this is what I cooked like yesterday. So
hey, maybe you do it right.
No,
I hope so.
We're probably doing wrong.
Yeah, I didn't put in the cilantro though, so I don't know if that's like a big shame or.
I don't know, cilantro. It's that's each his own. Although a random fact about cilantro is there's a particular gene that everyone has that one version of it, people like the taste of cilantro. The other half of people think it tastes like soap. I guess Pearl already knew that.
Okay.
But
well, I think it's weird if it's genetics, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird genetic thing that just they don't, But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. All right.
I personally like the taste of cilantro, so I think those people are crazy when they're like, it tastes like soap.
All right. So
After this cooking segment.
This cooking segment was brought to you by the Gauntlet.
And cilantro.
Join the What's Cooking Now group.
Is there What's Cooking Now?
Yeah.
Well,
David started
sub-channel.
it.
Oh, nice. There are so many sub-channels in Slack.
Like, I'm not a part of very many of them.
Yeah, I used to participate in a lot more, but now it's and it's just announcements and games, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So, just before the break, it was revealed Alexis find out that Xar is sitting in the prison cell.
But Alexis
Yes.
has to reveal that to the rest of us, right? Because it was
Yes.
through-
Yeah. So
Right now, she just seems crazy, like more, being sitting or touching a police car and laughing her ass out.
yeah, and I guess, guys, you notice that I start laughing even harder. And then I come back to you, and you will never guess who they cause.
By all means, do tell.
Well, they caught a demon, that's for sure. Only that demon is our friend.
Are you saying they have Czar in custody?
It seems like it, Uncle T.
Uncle T. All right. We'll talk about that later. Lazarus, you understand the law keeping of this time. What needs we do to free our friend?
Well, I think we should make our way to the police station, and on the way, maybe we should make a call, or maybe I should make a call to the Silver Blade to see if maybe we could get a little help. Is James Gallagher still hanging out near us?
Right now, he is.
James, does the Silver Blade have any members of the Eye or the Heart that are in the police force?
In the police force, no. The only other person in the heart was Gérard Cormier. So I don't know if I can help you with that.
Okay.
I'm pretty much the only eye in these parts.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think we kind of got to go to the police station to see if we can get Czar extricated. I told the Silver Blade it was a bad idea to put him on this team, but
So just when I thought you were doing the right and doing your work, seems like you were just getting caught. Okay, I think there is someone in the police department that owes me a favor. I can try to pull that, but I'm going to need something to give them, because right now they think that Czar is the. I think they want to call it cannibal now, the murderer, because it seems like it's he prepared the food. Well, that the person was food.
I'm of the understanding that in your time you have some sort of device that can capture the visage of something for showing other people later.
Yeah, it's
Lazarus
called cell
taught me
phone.
about this. Cell phone. That's also what you call people with? Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay, this sounds like a very magical device, and I will need to get some more training on it later. Anyway, could you take a photo of the shiny weirdness, the residue, and perhaps direct the police towards that as a non-cannibal? Use it in some way to get them to go away.
You mean the shining thing on your hands? You want me to take a photo of that?
No, I would say leave my hands out of it. But on the wall, there's residue, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's right down there, the corner. I saw it with my own eyes.
So perhaps you could direct someone's attention to that, because it does seem of concern.
All right. He turns to you, Lazarus. I assume you have a cell phone.
yes.
Okay.
You'll have to excuse Tom. He's not quite up to speed on technology.
Yeah, he seems to be from another time.
He uses really good cream,
Cream.
like facial cream.
Oh. Okay. Sure. Well, I think he already gave you a card or something. So yeah. Well, anyway, he gives you a card to make sure you have his number. I'm going to go ahead and the police station, try to see if there's anything I can do. If you can send me any picture that will help clear him, or at least put the police on another scent, that'd be great.
Okay, that sounds terrific. I'm also just I'm wondering about. I mean, I do have this move about dealing with the agency to request help, or to make excuses for a failure. I don't know if that would be of any use.
Let's just see the result of that move. See if it's interesting. I
mean, partly I'm thinking that this is a failure that Czar made, and maybe whether a call to the agency to kind of try to explain what has gone on and to try to make
yeah, that would be something good. I just go ahead. I think it's plus. Can't remember what the stat is.
It's plus sharp.
All right. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay, and my sharp is 2. The other thing that's amusing about this is that I was also supposed to be keeping an eye on Czar, that he was kind of suspicious, and now that this guy who I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on, who is suspicious, has been caught by the. All right, this is good. I have plus 2 sharp, so it ends up being a 10.
Nice, you're good. All right, I think I think right now, if you can spin any tale about who the real killer might be, even if it's it doesn't make sense. James is definitely going to be able to convince the police to at least release Czar on that ground. He was carrying a weapon, that might be another thing. But yeah, if you give like the tiniest bit of thing to James, it's going to tremendously help him getting Czar out of there.
Yes, I mean, I think what I would tell James is that Czar has been under a lot of stress and of late, and not only that, but we have been uncovering we've been uncovering information about what exactly is going on, and there are supernatural forces that are at work with this. And so I think between the pressure and anxiety that Czar had been under before we came here, and the fact that not only are there supernatural things here, but they have been attacking us, I clearly need to rein Czar in a little bit. But I can kind of understand, given the attacks that we've been subject to, as to why he would kind of resort to extreme measures and blow his cover to some extent.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll work with that.
And I'd also just, you can assure the person at the police force that if we can get Czar out, he will not he won't cause any more trouble for the police.
All right. All right. Meanwhile, at the police station. So you were taken in. They've put you in the cell for now, and like all the police are discussing and talking a bit out of earshot, but there seems to be a lot of agitation right now. Well, first, I'm going to ask you if you intend to do anything.
I think, like, while I'm waiting, I am, since my character is supposed to be fairly strong, I'm probably kind of like at the wall of my cell, probably kind of tapping, kind of seeing if I find, notice any like weaker spots that if all else fails, I could just bust out of here, or maybe bend the bars or something. But
okay. Oh, I just want to add. I think there are several cells in where you are. There's one across from you. You can see two of the teenagers that you have followed earlier.
say that again.
There are two
teenagers.
teenagers that you have followed earlier. One they might have from what you can hear. They probably were when they said they talked about the cops about you. They were also found to have drugs on them.
They're probably freaking out seeing me across from them.
Yeah. However, they are not, as you expect. Where you see that they are not alone in their cell. Right under a window, there's someone that is on the bench right under the window, and it's the most beautiful person you have ever seen. Their eyes look exactly like the kind of eyes you like. They smile just like the kind of smile you like, etc. And actually, I want to know for Czar, is that person human at all?
I think human is fine. But I think like Czar would be wary. He's been around a long time, whatnot, and he knows there's monsters that can lure you by presenting this. And so while he's attracted and whatnot, he's a little bit wary of is this real or is this some kind of front?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, but I do want to know if the person you see is a demon. Well, does they look like a demon or a human?
Like I said, I think they look like human.
Okay,
but I'm wary of the possibility of it being some kind of monster.
Well, if you are wary, those teenagers definitely are not. They seem to be surprised by their presence. It's as if they weren't there like a second before, but yeah, they're definitely trying to hit on them. What do you do?
I think I try to look for any signs of, whether or not this is just a normal human or if it's a monster.
One, I don't know, investigate mystery or read a bad situation.
I I would think at this moment it's probably investigate a mystery.
All right.
Either way, I'm probably going to fail because both of them are sharp, and I have a -1.
Yay!
Oh yeah, that's a total of 4.
Cool. So as you try to look, one of the teenager sits next to them and tries to pass his arms around their shoulders. And at that moment,
now, is this person in the same cell with them, or
yeah, they're in the same cell with them.
okay?
And at that moment, that person seems to morph into some kind of words I do not know. Some kinds of biomatter. Actually, it's morphing into something sticky.
Giant booger. All right.
Mm-hmm. And the teenager is getting swallowed in it.
Yeah, I think in that moment, since like I said, I see the gigantic hellsword as I don't carry it. It's something I kind of summon.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, I'll summon it and try to cut my way through the bars and try and attack it. But I guess the first thing is, can I even get through the bars to get to them?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a custom move here that will actually name Bend Bar Lift Gates. Roll plus tough.
All right. That is an 11.
Nice. I actually really wanted to be like the fighting move from Dungeon World, so
I figured.
So I don't have the options in front of me, but do you remember them a little bit?
Give me a few
I know there is. You don't destroy anything of value. You don't take a lot of time. You don't make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I think it's don't make a lot of noise and takes very little time.
Right. So I think with your sword you jam it into the bars and squeeze it more like a lever, and you destroyed the thing, but it just banned. Maybe there are some noise, but they are talking over there, so it might not. It doesn't attract their attention.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the cops hearing it than the. Yeah, but
all right. And I think you do the same thing to their cells. So you have access. Meanwhile, the thing is trying to pull the teenager in the there's a window right above them, and it's trying to recede into the window, and it's beginning to crack. The window is beginning to crack a little.
Yeah, I'm just going to attack that thing as best I can.
All right. Roll stuff.
I think I'm going to use luck here. That'll be a 6 if I don't.
Yeah, there are no other hunters to help you right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to use luck to make that
cool.
12.
So until the end of the session, you at some point have to tell me what other sign of the apocalypse will be. But you don't have to tell it right away.
I'll think about that.
All right. So choose one option from the kick some ass.
Oh yeah, I forgot that had options.
I think there should be one that will let you free. If you force them where you want and one where you want them, you might be able to at least like sever the connection between the teenager and
I think that's what I'll do is pick. Now what is the advanced on 12 plus instead?
You need to have taken an upgrade to have a move advance, and when it is advanced, it does something else on 12 plus.
Gotcha. Yeah, so definitely the force them where I want them. So make it stay inside and hopefully let go of the kid.
Yeah, I think you actually severe, like you cut at the near the window thing, and it slashes into two. One part goes outside, and the other just stays here. While the other teenager is like completely white, has no idea what's happening, and might be on the verge of fainting. Let's see what the other hunters are up to.
Are we already on our way to the jail, or are we still talking to the reporter?
No, the reporter is on his way to jail. I thought you guys were going to see the slimy thing that Alexis saw.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just.
That was my understanding. In the intent of taking a picture and sending things to James, but James is on his way to the police station.
Should we also head to the police station? Lazarus, you know how this sort of thing works. What is your guidance here?
Yeah, I think it may be best for us to go to the police station, and because part of what I told James is that I assured him that we would keep wraps on Czar to make sure that he didn't cause any further problems for the police. So I think at least I should go there. I mean, I could go there and retrieve him if Tom, if you and Alexis wanted to kind of stay and do some further investigating here, and I'd get back as quick as I can.
I don't think splitting up further is a good idea. I'm unfamiliar with many of the practices here, and Alexis seems slightly impaired. And
yeah, and
Hey.
I mean that in a nice way, dear.
Yeah, the splitting up last time didn't go quite as smoothly as we wanted.
Yeah, should some of the spider creatures return or whatever else, I think it would be best for us not to split up our already split up team further. You know, all for one and one for all, and that sort of thing.
All right, so come on, let's go. And you can see that she's kind of impatient because of the drugs, like she kind of needs to move. So come on up, let's go before they pillory him.
All right, Lazarus, you drive the contraption.
Right. So yeah, Lazarus, jumps in the car and will gonna make a quick beeline for the police station.
All right, perfect. So I think because I think two scenes were in sync in time. Maybe the police that were arguing near the cell might have been arguing with James that was trying to to spin a tale and convince them that it wasn't their man and well, they should release him because it's important and well, things like that. So I think when Czar slashes the thing, you guys are in the police station at that moment. And maybe one of you heard the bending bars thing. If you want me to connect everybody that way.
Can
Or at
I
least you could be on your way too.
roll
Cesar.
trust my gut?
Sure.
Because I don't know what we're going to find when we get to the jail, and I'd like to sort of get a sense of whether we're
Perfect.
doing the right
weird.
thing. Okie dokie. I always pick the wrong tab. That is annoying. Okay. Roll 1, 2. So with weird, I have an 8.
8. Okay.
So general direction and +1 forward.
General direction. You have a feeling that there's something lurking outside the police station.
Okay.
Like something on the prowl.
Friends, I think we should approach the jail with caution. I'm getting the sense that perhaps all is not well there, and before we even breach the doors, we may be in for some trouble. Should I send Wool out to scout when we get close?
That,
Sorry.
yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. And once we get this van parked, I can activate some of the surveillance equipment I have on board to see if that will show anything.
As much as I wish I were not saying so, I think it may be necessary. I think we are walking into something that is not what it seems.
Let's just hope they're not building a pyre for Czar.
Do you still do that in this time and age? Because we had just some really good times around pyres back in my time.
Of course we do, except instead of like sticking a person on it, we actually grill marshmallows. We should try it someday, Uncle T. You'll see, it's great.
Marshmallows.
Yeah, it's a white sticky thing.
I don't know. White sticky things are not working out so well for me today.
Well, they work out for me.
Children in this age, I have yet to get used to this. Regardless, why would you grill the marshmallow?
I'm just messing with you, Uncle Tila. Just send your owl friend.
Okay. So are we close enough to the jail that it makes sense for me to send Wool now?
Definitely.
All right. So I'm going to send Wool up to scout.
All right. I won't even require a roll. There is something on the roof of the police station, and it appears almost like a human, except that it has it's humanoid, but it's also like fish, like scaly skin, fins about its body, and it seems to be wearing some kind of clothes that are made of algae mesh or something like that.
Okay, so I telepathically direct Wool to return immediately, which I assume he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Fred,
he does exactly what you said.
I have bad news, which is that I've got confirmation from Wool that my concerns were in fact astute in this case, as much as I wish they weren't. Apparently on the roof of the jail, and I know this sounds odd, but I suppose we're monster hunters. and I can count on you all to not freak out. I learned that word yesterday, freak out, or phrase, or something. Thank you, Alexis. There is some sort of man-like creature, but with like sea creature features on the roof, like scaly bits and slimy clothing. It was hard to get the picture from Wall exactly. It always, it's I get the picture while he's there, and then he comes back, and I have to try to remember everything. But it seems to be some sort of hybrid man-fish thing, possibly more man than fish. But I don't know if that's a permanent thing or if it goes back and forth or what. I don't think we had these in my time, or if we did, I hadn't learned about them yet that I can recall. Although, if need be, I can attempt to dig through my memories and see if it.
But I can try to trap it, perhaps.
How can you trap it? I like the idea. I don't know what you would do to trap a creature on the roof of the jail, but
well, I can use some magic, perhaps.
don't you need to touch things to use your magic?
Of
Or do
course
you
I
have-
do. Magic is just like love. If there's no touching, it's pointless.
I don't think.
And
you
then
should
as I
touch
say
this
that,
thing.
I put my hands on his thigh, and because the idea is that as she saw it through her familiar, then I can try to touch her to try to trap it. Does that work, Smo? You're muted.
Yeah. If Lord Tom is okay being having his leg touch, I think could work.
Wait, whose tie did you touch?
Yours.
Oh, I didn't know I was wearing a tie. All right.
Or no, wait.
French accent is.
Yeah, maybe I said it wrong.
That's okay.
But she's putting her hand on your leg.
That is fine.
Yeah.
Can you repeat what happens when you do that? Now that I know that it's happening to me.
Yeah, well, while you were speaking, I kind of did it without really asking for permission.
Mm-hmm.
And on purpose. I do it, like quite close. That's where it begins to be awkward. But then I try to use magic to trap the monster that is on the roof.
Through my tie.
Yeah, basically she's touching you because you have a connection to Wall, and Wall has had a sight on the monster.
Quite the endeavor. I'm willing to be a conduit if it will work. Is it working? Because my reaction.
I have 6.
You want to spend luck, or?
I think I will, actually.
All right. So I'm imagining that I sort of feel a very weird thing coming all over, like as I'm being used as a conduit for distance magic through my spirit familiar onto a roof. And I'm just like, Madam, what is the meaning of this? Good heavens, what's happening?
All right. So, and I spend a luck, which makes my dark side nastier. I don't know how you want to involve that.
Yeah, I haven't invoked it yet, but what I'll be a little bit nastier than what I intended to.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's like when I will invoke your dark side, I will go harder than
great.
what I intended to at first.
Great. So that changes my roll into a 12.
Yep. So you trap the thing on the roof and no glitch.
Do I choose how I trap it?
Yes.
Can it be like a big fish tank? Because I think it's funny.
Definitely.
As the conduit, I am in favor.
All right. So I guess we can see some kind of refraction, the light around it, and that solidifies into glass walls and like a little miniature castle next to it. And
All right. So we should take Czar as, and then I just like remove my hand like as it were really really normal. Like okay, then it's time to get Czar. I think.
I think I'm still a little bit kerfuffled from the whole thing. Like, all right.
Yeah.
I assume you did whatever you just did for a reason. I'm willing to overlook it. I would appreciate if you could discuss these things with me beforehand in the future. And Wall is very upset. But I assume you've done something useful.
I trapped the monster, Uncle. Thank you for your thigh.
You trapped the monster?
Yeah.
All right. On
Lazarus
that note,
trapped the monster.
Because
Well,
you
we-
saw it.
It's on the roof. We can't see it, right? We're like
Well,
in
I know.
bar.
I'm
Yeah, well-
creative.
No, I know. I just mean like for Lazarus and I. Like we're taking your word for it because we.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we're going to get back inside the jail.
All right.
All right. So now that the things have been severed, it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't. It does seem to be wanting to stick to the teenager, but it doesn't seem to want to move away or to move. Like it's not going anywhere.
Huh. I think as long as it's not going anywhere, I'll like Did they leave me with like my coat or anything?
Yeah, I think they only took your guns.
Yeah,
They would have taken the sword if they could see.
Yeah. I think I'll like take off my coat and basically just try and capture this thing inside the coat. I mean, how big is the portion?
It was human sized. I think some of the mass might have gone through the window, so maybe half human sized.
Yeah, so I think I could kind of bundle it up inside the coat if it's not.
I think you can. It's a bit formless, so you can compact it, and surprisingly light.
Yeah, and I'll also like let my sword unsummon or whatever. I kind of imagine it kind of appears in hellfire, appears and disappears in hellfire and smoke. Probably scares the crap out of the teenagers.
Oh yeah, the teenagers are will be having nightmares for years to come.
Oh
yeah. So I think it's about at that point that a police officer comes in with James Gallagher. And you say, okay, mister, we're going to release. What happened here? What happened to bars?
I think I kind of just slightly opened that bag, letting them, or not bag, but the bundle of coat, to let them see, like, and I'm just like, a monster, that's what happened.
What the hell? Doesn't work. And James like, okay, officer, we're going to have a serious discussion here. Everything's fine. Let's just roll away. And he and when James is leaving with the officer, just points to where your guns are.
Yeah, definitely go collect those.
All right, and what do you do from there?
I'll head outside and look for the other half of this thing.
right. You do spot the monster hunting van in the parking.
Yeah. Do I see any signs of where that thing went?
If you go to where you think that your the window will go, you will see that there's like a slimy trail from the window to the roof.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call out to the others, saying that the van's there.
And good, the wolf gang is together again.
Yeah, I think I would when I see Czar would kind of look for the opportunity to drive the van over there to kind of get him into it so that we can converse as to what exactly our plan should be. And also, no doubt, I would, as soon as we see him, say, Czar, I don't know what you're up to, but you've created a lot of problems for us.
I just I've kind of tied off that bundle or whatever, and I just throw it at you and say, I've been doing our job. Which, seeing that I'm not wearing my coat, you can probably actually see my guns on me. Usually they're hidden under the coat, a shotgun on my back and the big Magnum. But yeah, I just toss that, bundle to you.
All right, everyone in the car, and let's drive to a slightly more remote location and regroup. Clearly, many things have happened, and we all need to put our minds together.
I point towards the, outside wall and, where the slime trail is, and I'm like, there's still more of this thing out there.
It's exactly why I think we need to regroup. We were attacked by a spider thing in the woods, and Alexis saw a slime trail back at the site.
Trapped. Alexis trapped in a fish
That's
tank.
the next thing. Alexis also trapped a thing on the roof in a fish tank, and you're saying there's a slime trail to more things out there. And I think before we just go running into danger all willy-nilly, like, I know you modern people have no sense, but perhaps we should actually discuss some sort of strategy or gain some understanding of what's happening, the best to go in with the right defenses and or offensive tools, and not end up with, say, glowing goo hands or in a jail cell or high. That's the word, right? High
meaning of stealing?
Intoxicated is what we would have said.
Oh.
But I feel like when we act without forethought, we handicap ourselves, and our job is to eradicate this threat. So let us go as a team, and then let us fight as a team.
Just kind of give the gruff grunt and get in the van.
And Czar, what exactly happened to you? How did you get caught by the police? What were the charges?
I have no idea what the charges were, but I saved
carrying an illegal weapon is definitely one, and you were suspected. You were suspected of the murder also.
Yeah, didn't even pay attention to them. When I kind of explained, that I thought that the kids could be in danger from whatever this monster was that killed the other kid. So I followed them, got attacked by some kind of centipede thing. Show them the bite mark. Which is that affecting me at all?
I think the burning took a while to really
subside.
Not be burning, but it doesn't do anything now.
But yeah, I explained that I killed it. It kind of just turned to dust and disappeared. That's when the cops picked me up. and the cell was that, kind of pointing to the goo monster in the sack.
Well, I think that Lord Tom got us onto something with this whole business of the fairies. From what I know of the fairies, they are often tied to entities of nature, and from what I'm hearing, well, what I've seen is that there was a spider entity that was speaking, and now Zara, you're telling us about a kind of centipede type entity that was speaking, and what Alexis is saying is that there was some type of fish looking creature up on the roof. Lord Tom, what is your sense of how this type of creature is best dealt with? Lord Tom, do you have any ideas?
So I'm not sure that. So my thought about fairy connected creatures, right, is that usually they can be reasoned with and you can make deals with them. But
Yeah.
But these creatures seem odd, and the fish creature and the spider creature, I'm not sure how they're connected. That's why I'm hoping that we can sort of put our heads together and combine knowledge, and maybe perhaps I should take a moment to look back in my mind at my training. I am a very learned man, but it's been a while, and perhaps I can come up with something, because one kind of beast I'm usually good with. Multiple beasts acting in tandem but differently is they weren't so sophisticated in my day, I don't think. So can I roll my playbook move learned to investigate the mystery?
Yep. So roll plus sharp. And yes, I'm assuming that you are on the road as this conversation happens.
I'm going to spend my first luck, even though I got a 9, unless someone wants to help me with this somehow or something. I really want to actually know as much about this as possible. Is that dumb, or should I just take the one question and save my luck for later? Thoughts?
Is it really worth it to take a look on this?
Well, so I'm using my playbook move that allows me to draw on knowledge from the past about creatures in the present. And if there's something, the problem is I can ask, one question on a 7 to 9 and 2 on a 10 plus, and I feel like we just don't know what the hell's going on at all, frankly. Like, 2 of us have been bitten by things. You have trapped something, which is great, but I don't know what we're going to do when we get up there. My hands are like glowing.
Yeah, and we do still have the Gerald Cormier angle that we haven't explored. That was the member of the Heart who had gone missing, and we could try to go to the place where he had been living to see if there are any other clues or insights we get from that area.
Okay. I will not spend a luck then if we don't think it's as useful here. And instead, I know, where did I put all my move cards to tell me oh, here they are. I would like to ask, hate picking one. That's why I was tempted to use luck. But there are always at least 2. I'm going to ask, what do I know about this that has otherwise been forgotten? And by this, I mean the whole phenomenon of these multiple creatures that seem to be connected. Like, is there something about all of the things that we've learned that I would know from how things worked in my time that has since been forgotten because it hasn't happened since then or something.
Okay. You are. I think we'll go. Well, I said you have made research on those fairy insect-like creatures. So
Right.
let's go back to why you did these research. First of all, I'm going to say that the fish thing didn't seem like one of them. It seems to be something entirely different.
So the fish is separate, as far as
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yes. You remember a small commune in well, I'm assuming Lord Tom comes from England, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
Yes.
So there was a small commune in England that had dealings with these kinds of insect fairies. They kept the town safe, but in return, they needed to be fed, and they are feeding in weird materials. They eat magic and weirdness. The exact town was keeping a few of their member heal from like some kind of a disease or a magical virus, and they were feeding the blood of these ill people to them. So they never kill anybody. They sometimes got curious, so they had to infect other townspeople. But they were keeping like this weird thing. So you might have a feeling that something was happening here of the sort, but it's
Okay.
no longer happening. Like this is what like you whatever happened at that time you cleared it. You banished the fairies, or you did something to get out. But this is what the town would look like if you hadn't intervened.
Okay. Let me try to go over all of that because my like short-term memory for things is not what it might be, and I want to make sure I'm remembering everything you just said because that all sounds useful. So I remember that we had a similar situation in some village. It was fairy-like creatures. They protected the town, but they needed to be kept fed.
Mhm.
But then something weird happened with some of them, and they started having unusual feeding patterns, and we had to eradicate them.
Yeah, something like that.
And the fish thing seems unrelated.
It might be related to how right now they have been fed.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try to relay this to my compatriots then. It's just come to me. Okay. This was a long time ago now. It was when I was just a young monster hunting lord, so forgive me for not having remembered it earlier. But when I was just had just discovered the questing beast, those were such lovely times. Simpler times. Anyway, there was a village nearby that had these sort of fairy. I don't know if they were like in partnership with the fairies or if they were part fairy or what, but insect-like fairy creatures that protected the town, but also like sort of as a tribute needed to be fed. Which the town seemed to be managing, and I didn't really look into it much because I imagined it was probably unpleasant and they were happy with it until the creatures began feeding on their own, not in the way that was agreed upon or expected. And my fellow hunters at the time and I had to take out all of them, really, to protect the town. The things we've been encountering, like the spider, all the slimy, insecty, or arachnid things seem very reminiscent, if not identical, to the creatures back then. So I'm guessing that they are fairy creatures, and either something has gone wrong with their feeding or something else. And perhaps the monster on the roof that Alexis so startlingly trapped is connected to whatever's gone wrong. Because it's not the same as the other creatures, but there has to be a connection, I think. It seems silly that there would just also be a random fish monster. So as much as going back to the jail seems risky, and I think we should put some sort of elaborate disguise on Zan, if we do this, or Zara, sorry. I have a Zan in another game. How weird is that? Also with an X, and also a monster. Anyway, I think we need to get onto the roof of the jail. If we've already got one of them trapped, that's the best way to interrogate them. Assuming, Alexis, that you feel your trap will hold.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Okay. Even if it wouldn't, come to think of it, we probably shouldn't leave the people of the jail, who are rather hapless, to the possible escape of the fish monster. So,
I'm going
shall
to
we...
point out that, like, this gelatinous slime monster or whatever that I have can change its form to look like other things, and that there was a slime trail that went up to the roof, so possibly this fish monster is the other half of this slime monster.
Oh. Well then, we should interrogate your slime monster.
I think at that point, the thing your coat has stopped moving and it has begun to dry out. Well, it's beginning to dry.
Like the slime is drying out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of open it up and look at it, and I was like, ugh, well, I need a new coat.
Nah.
I don't think this thing's going to
right?
be doing much talking.
Maybe it needs hydration or something. Have we any water?
I just spit on it.
It doesn't do much. Really, it doesn't hold any form. Also, right now, it's just like smooshing and drying. And
Lazarus, have you a bucket of some sort that we can deposit the creature in and maybe add some moisture? We really don't want to let it die.
Yeah, I mean, that we could get a container and stop by, someplace that would have some water. That would not be a problem, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that should be our first priority, is trying to keep this creature with us. We've got it in custody. It seems weakened. This is ideal for extracting information. And also, even to monsters, before we know what's going on, I don't think anyone deserves cruelty. So let us act in haste, friends.
Right. Somebody you can investigate a mystery.
I mean, I'm happy to keep doing it, but I feel like I've been rolling more than everyone else, and I don't want to dominate the game. So.
Well, I can do it, I guess. I just want to see if I have something special with this spooky that would be helpful. Wait a minute, can I... Okay, no, I will just like investigate normally. So this is I'm sorry, Simon, can you remind me what tab I have to... Sharp? All right.
Sharp.
Oh, and it's a genuine fail. 4.
All right. Okay, I'm going to give you one information. You put it in some kind of container, and you quickly go to the convenience store, buy some water, pour into it, and it seems to be mixing up with the water and like trying to. Well, it's like becoming a sludge thing, and doesn't even seem to move anymore. And what you can gather from this is it doesn't seem to be sentient or even like no longer alive right now. It probably was from, I guess, the information I'm giving you is that this wasn't a monster or part of a monster. It was like an appendage that took the form of something.
Okay.
But now that it's severed, it's like just material and that sludge.
Okay. Where are we? Like, are we still like close to the police station?
Unclear. Some people were saying, including me, were saying they were on drive, and other people are talking about just going up there on the roof. So we are in an unclear place. It's unclear where we are in space, but not time.
Yeah, I mean, what I could imagine Lazarus doing, because he's probably driving, he had that idea of maybe checking out Gerald Cormier, but then as people continued to discuss, he was like, okay, well, maybe we're not going there. And so he did a turn. And then there were people like going to the police station. So he was thinking that. So I think, yeah, he's kind of taking this meandering route because we haven't really figured out exactly what we should.
So basically right now you can go anywhere you like.
All right, but I guess as we were talking about like going to see Mr. Fishman, can I, like, does it make sense if I try to use my move tune in with a monster to see like if I can get something from the fish?
That's exactly what it is for.
All right, so, but do I have to be like close to the monster? Can I do it from far?
Well,
Can I,
last time we did it, you are pretty far from it.
Okay, so I guess it will work this time as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, plus weird. Let's hope that it will not be as pathetic. 7 flash.
7, so you got 1 hold. You can ask me 1 question and get +1 on going on acting on it.
All right.
Which is something I completely forgot from all the trust your gut move and all the read bad situation move.
Don't want to hold. But what is want to hold like?
That means that you like right now you are tuning into the monster. You already did once, so
Okay.
you go back to that connection, and you can feel its feeling of being trapped and that's scared, and now you can use a hold when you like to ask me a question that you will have the answer through that connection. You don't have to use it right now.
Okay.
That wouldn't mean to hold it.
Okay. All right. So I guess my question would be: it has to be like the questions that are like in the move, right? I cannot make one up.
No, it's a question from the moves.
All right. So let's say, who does it regard as the biggest threat?
Biggest threat. Well, he did get slashed by a demonic sword, so I guess that would be it.
Okay, so I just completely wasted the question, right?
Well, not really, because it seems to be more afraid of you guys than anything else.
Okay. Okay, so what I can tell you is that the fish man in the tank is scared of us guys, so maybe we should use this advantage for our own benefits.
I continue to be in favor of this plan.
Yeah, well, and we haven't, I think it would be useful to get in proximity to whatever this creature is. I mean, we've seen it through, Lord Tom, you've seen it through Wall's eyes, and Alexis has kind of indirectly seen it, but we haven't really been really close to it to see what it is.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's just go close and figure it out.
So yeah, Lazarus will kind of take the turn to kind of take us back towards the police station. I think he will take a quick moment to go off to the side of the road and pull out some other magnetic things for the van, so the police would not kind of think that it was the same van. I mean, I think like a catering truck. It's like okay. Some type of bakery catering truck now that we're.
Or you could be like a different a station. Like instead of being CBC, you could be like TVA, which is another one.
Like a rival yeah. Station. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so we have like a different TV.
TVA will be the. On.
And they have a lot of money, so you could turn your thing as a helicopter and they would buy it.
Yeah, there's the maybe the TVA helicopter is over there. Anyway, all right. So you come back to the police station. It won't be a problem to get on the roof. Where do you see this glass-like construction with and the roof that even has melted into little decorations, and the fish person seems to be it seems to not be doing well. It's on its knees. It seems to be trying to grasp for hair, and it won't. And it's. Like I said, it's on the roof, and we are in the middle of the day, and it's hot.
Let me take the lead on this, friends. I've dealt with creatures at least similar to this before. Hello. I am Lord Tomlinson Harrington III, and I bid you greetings from myself and my companions. You look to be in distress. Is there something we can help you with?
He goes to you, hit the glass a couple of times. Emits a sound like maybe a clicking noise, something like that, but it doesn't utter words.
Okay, so we can't talk like the spider did.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem to be capable of speech.
Bother. All right, then I am going to maybe just pick I have like this list of possible other moves to take since I advanced like half a game ago. And one of them was some sort of telepathy. Milo,
Wait, I could I think you're speaking of telekinesis.
Telekinesis is where you move things with your mind, right?
Mhm.
Telepathy is communication with your
Oh,
mind.
yes, right. My bad, sorry.
But you don't. Milo, be quiet. Sorry, my dog. Do you have a spell that would allow you to communicate?
Use magic can definitely allow you to communicate with something that you do not share language with.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I could totally do that.
I think in the absence of the creature being able to speak, that might be the best way. But I encourage you to speak cordially. We don't know what this creature's involvement in this situation is and whether or not they are acting on their own behalf or under duress, and they are clearly in distress. So please,
Oh.
Alexis,
Don't worry, Uncle T. I might not speak Shakespearean, but I can handle diplomatics. So I will.
I think Tom never saw the Shakespeare era.
yeah, that is okay. I mean, I'm not speaking. I was just speaking early modern English, and technically Shakespeare falls in that same time period. So
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
I have no idea, to be fairly honest.
I'm
Alright.
actually a huge language nerd. Don't get me started.
All right, I'll take your word to it.
So I just rolled, and I rolled a wait,
Plus weird.
8. 8.
8. All right. So you.
No,
get...
wait, I'm lying.
You are?
No, I'm sorry. I rolled 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes off without an itch. All right. So I can imagine you like putting your hand where his hand is on the other side of the glass, like that.
Yeah, and really like gently.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's getting late now, and I did not want that mystery to go to the other session, so I'm going to expedite things a little bit. You can communicate with it, and I can even tell you that with his hand on the glass, you can see that he has a mark of having been bound at some point. It's more. You can learn that he was tied up for a long time, held up in. He doesn't know exactly where, but he was kept by someone who harnessed something from him, some kind of caviar from a monster fish. And that person, from some time, his keeper has been absent, and that had allowed him to escape. And he's now just like he escaped, and he is hungry. If you ask for the sludge thing that you had, this is his kind of lure. He's like fishing. So he does eat humans. That's one thing. Or at least he's carnivorous.
All right, but I don't get. Does it eats it for like the fish eats it, or the fish brings it to like the whatever thing that bonded him?
No, no. He's the one who ate the wounded the kid.
Okay. Well, I hope he added some spices because it must have been like a quite bland taste.
All right. So what I'm going to ask you, if you have any question that I can answer that from his point of view, I will answer it. Then I will ask you to make a decision what you do with the monster. I won't ask you for a roll if you want to end its life. I will just let you kill it if you release him or anything.
Czar will always vote to just finish it off.
No, I agree with Uncle T. Let's not Let's not kill.
All right.
But you know what? We're just by the sea. Why don't we just drop it like in the ocean?
And let it eat another kid
Well, there's no children in the ocean.
on the beach, though.
We need to make sure we know whether it's a freshwater or saltwater creature. The sliminess reminds me of slugs, in which case salt water could be dangerous to it. Can you ask the creature if it needs a certain kind of hydration, and also if we could offer it some sort of meat to eat to satisfy its hunger? And then perhaps we could all have a discussion about what's happened here.
All right, so I guess I say to the monster, like, hey, beauty, you hungry? Thirsty? Sparkling or still?
All right. I'm not sure what to answer, but you can definitely come to an arrangement. I think the waters that are here. It's a gulf, so it's big. It's salt water, but it's not ocean salt water. It's we are at a junction between the two. I think it's the right mix for it. And yeah, it's basically carnivorous. Like humans seems to be his choice of prey because they are easier to get. But he can eat other meat.
So let's offer him some meat and ask if he'll share information with us.
What kind of information do you want of him?
I mean, we're probably going to have to go through
Or I
Alexis,
can,
but-
yeah, or I can ask him. Wait for the beginning next session to know. Like you've talked to him and can flash back during the next session about for the answer that you've got.
whatever one thinks, whatever everyone else thinks.
Right. I haven't heard about from Robbie what
Yeah, well, and
what
it's
you want to do.
one thing that crosses my mind is it does not sound like this creature is the one that would be responsible for the initial murder, which was this kind of very ritualistic looking thing, right? I mean,
Well, it is the creature that killed.
it is.
What you might have thought as being a ritual was he was preparing his food.
Well, yeah, and that's just the way it would normally eviscerate or whatever its prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Lazarus. I mean, he's kind of wanting as much information as he can get, but I think Lazarus. This is clearly a dangerous creature. I don't think that this is simply a creature that we are going to train to be a vegetarian or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling, Lazarus is not feeling particularly warm and fuzzy towards this creature.
Okay. Might I offer an alternative solution? Because this part, the player seems to be split on that part. You might go into the custody of the Silver Blade. If that seems fine.
So we call a collection team to come and retrieve him?
Yeah, something like that.
Extract him from the site?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I think we could put in a call and see if they would.
Yeah, that seems fair.
So it will both serve as the not killing the poor creature and keeping him from killing other humans.
I think while we're waiting for the extraction team to arrive, I pull out some beef jerky from my bag and hold it up. And I know he can't really understand, but I say, this is food. They taught me. It doesn't, you eat it and it doesn't feel like food because you have to chew so much, but it might help. And I throw it over the edge of the glass for him.
All right. He definitely eats it. He makes a weird face doing it.
I know.
But it's beef jerky. Everybody's doing a week phrase eating beef jerky. Okay. All right. Let's call this the end of game. And I will stop the broadcast.